So, you've probably noticed all of the Chinese cars on the market at the moment. They are everywhere on our roads. And it's easy to see why. The styling is quite sharp, the interior feels premium, and it looks like they are offering quite a bit of luxury for a significant amount less than its European and Japanese counterparts. However, you're probably wondering, which one do you buy and which one can you trust? But first, let's sit down for a bit of a history lesson. The first two Chinese brands to launch in South Africa was GWM and Chery. GWM was about 2007 there and thereabouts, with Chery launching in 2008 with the QQ3 and the Tiggo. Those cars were not great at the time. They were never recommended by anyone to buy. And yeah, so Chery exited the market at some point, and they actually came back much stronger when they re-entered in 2021. GWM, as I mentioned, was also in the market at the time. They launched with bakkies and small crossovers, and they actually stuck around. And they now have established quite a large presence in South Africa. Interesting to note is that I actually had a long-term GWM C20R when I was a full-time motoring journalist, and I didn't hate it.
Let's see if the impressive exterior translates to the interior.
It was a capable little small crossover, and it left a lot to be desired, but for what it was at the time, I quite enjoyed it. Using it, we took it on a few long road trips, and it fared relatively well. Now fast forward almost 2 decades later, and the South African market is flooded with Chinese cars. So let's do a little bit of a breakdown of who's who in the Chinese market realm in South Africa and who fits in where. Let's start with the two original Chinese brands that came to South Africa. The Chery Group owns Chery, and then they also have Omoda, Jetor, and J-Cool.
So jumping in here at the end of this edit, because, well, as we were about to release this video, Chery has announced that it's releasing a new vehicle in South Africa under a new brand called iCar. I can't understand how it's pronounced, but it's a Defender-inspired SUV. It's a proper SUV. It's big, and that's really all I know about it right now, and they announced it recently at the Festival of Motoring. So another brand under the Chery umbrella. iCar, I don't know.
Then you have GWM, which has the Haval, which we've seen, as well as the electric Order, which is very cute. Now let's get to the other ones. Let's start with MG. MG is owned by a company called SAIC, or is it SAIC? I don't know. Then you also get Bike, which is BAIC, not related to the previously mentioned SAIC. There's also the JAC, which is also an independent Chinese brand in South Africa. Then you have GAC, which is part of the Guangzhou Motor Group. So if you didn't get that, it's SAIC, it's Bike, it's JAC, it's GAC, it's OMG, it's oh my god. I'm joking on that, but you get the idea. There's a lot to choose from. Another one is BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, and that is mostly an electric range of vehicles. I think one of it is a plug-in hybrid, but the rest are all fully EVs, and that is recently launched in South Africa as well. So what is making these Chinese cars really appealing right now? To talk about that, let's go sit in one. Here we have the J-Cool. It is looking pretty good, don't you think? So, one of the biggest appeals of the recent Chinese vehicles is that it looks great. I mean, this kind of looks like a Range Rover, don't you think? Land Rover, Range Rover vibes. It looks good, and inside, it's quite stunning. It's stylish, it's premium, and it feels really upmarket. And that has been the appeal. It's that it offers this premium look and feel, both inside and outside, for, I wouldn't say a fraction of the cost of the European and the Japanese cars, but for a considerable amount less. And it means you can feel like you're driving a luxury car and not have to pay the same price as you would if you wanted, I don't know, a Mercedes or a BMW as an example. Also, a lot of these Chinese cars actually come with much longer warranties than some of the other vehicles out there. For example, like Chery has a 10-year engine warranty. I don't know of any other vehicle manufacturer that actually has that, and that is a big appeal. The build quality over the years has really improved, especially since those first like QQ days or China Benny days and those things. Chinese build quality has really stepped up over time. I remember when they first launched Chinese products in South Africa, most journalists used to say there's that like Chinese car smell, and it was basically glue. It's the kind of smell you'll smell when you walk into a Chinese store and there's all these like synthetic things that have been glued together with various forms of super glue. I don't know, but that is what it used to smell like before, and not a single Chinese car that I've been in recently actually smells like that. It feels really upmarket. It feels like things are really well put together inside here. Then let's talk about dealer networks. I guess just a few short years ago, we wouldn't necessarily have recommended a Chinese vehicle, even though we could see the improvement in the build quality. We could see the value for money that these vehicles offer. We could see that there's a lot of like spec being offered for not entry-level pricing, but for relatively affordable like pricing. And we wouldn't have recommended it then anyway, because the dealer footprint is small, or would have been small, whereas now every third corner in the city or like in areas where you see a lot of like car dealerships, you will see a Chery or GWM dealership. This is also why when it comes to recommending a Chinese vehicle, I would probably recommend a Chery or a GWM, just because the dealer footprint is so large and therefore the after-sale service will be easier to come by. But that is not to say that the other ones aren't good or don't have good support. I don't actually have any experience in that, and so you'll have to see that for yourself. The bottom line really is that Chinese brands are here to stay, and over the years they are only going to command a bigger slice of the South African automobile market. So if you're in the market for one, I'd recommend you go test a good few and you make up your own mind. You see what you can afford and also make the choice just based on what your lifestyle is and what you want out of a car. But I don't think that we are at that point anymore where we would deter anyone from buying a Chinese car. I think the vehicles that we are seeing are of great quality, and yeah, I think they are worth a shot. So go out and enjoy.